Now, if you've been with us, you've seen the bus.
The whim of a madman. I like that.
Woo-wee. Here we go. Good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being a part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Woo! 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 To say I feel good this morning is an understatement. I almost feel like the Cowboys listened to what we've been saying. I'm sorry, no disrespect to Amari Cooper, okay? Amari Cooper did some great things for us in his time he was here, but I'm tired of getting old, broke down, on the way out veterans. I wanted some young studs. I wanted a possession receiver. I wanted somebody who has a chip on their shoulders and is trying to get paid. I want a guy who I don't have to wonder, is he going to retire next year? I wanted a legitimate playmaker to go with C.D. Lamb. I wanted my quarterback to have every opportunity that other quarterbacks have around the NFL that have multiple weapons. I wanted him to be like Brock freaking Purdy with Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Deebo Samuels, and Christian McCaffrey, and see what my quarterback can actually do. Because my quarterback threw 36 TDs throwing to C.D. Lamb and an aging Brandon Cook. That's what my guy did with an average running game. I want to see him with two legitimate wide receivers again. Now, I do remember seeing him when we had Amari Cooper and CD as a rookie, having 37 TDs and 10 interceptions and being a runner-up MVP. Those days could be back again. Man, if you're a Cowboy fan, you got to be feeling so much better. My question to you is, are you back on board? Walker Wade, are you back on board? Because now, Dak Prescott, you got no excuses. That's what they're going to say. Dak, I hope that where you've had seasons from injury, you had the leg, you came back with 37 TDs. 37. You had the thumb, you came back with 36 TDs. Coming back from the hamstring, can I say 40? Can I say 40? Because now we don't have a mighty might, not a mighty might in Brandon Cooks. We got a 6'3" wide receiver. Can you say jump balls, back shoulder fades, red zone target? That's what you got right now. Now, it's not all shits and giggles. Is that how it goes? Is that the saying? I don't know. I'm just going to enjoy some more of my coffee here. The Cowboys pulled off a trade that the cap number is literally only $3.4 million is what his contract salary was this year. For a third-round pick is what's being reported. Now, there are some issues that we have to understand. Here's what we're getting as far as attitude issues. George Pickens, a wide receiver of the Pittsburgh Steelers, has faced some locker room concerns, including being criticized for his behavior and attitude. Some sources indicated he was tardy for meetings on travel days, and some view his attitude as potentially harmful to team chemistry. According to Sports Illustrated and A to Z, there have also been reports of him being late to team events, even on travel days. Some Steelers insiders, including former players, have expressed concerns about Pickens' attitude and how it might impact his long-term prospects with the team, according to Penn Live and Steelers Depot. And I want to go into, this is an article here about going into more detail. Reports reveal George Pickens' irresponsible move before Steelers' primetime game. The young wideout has been criticized for his antics before. Now, I want to remind you, we ended up having Adam Pac-Man Jones for a year, who had some issues. And they ended up having basically a person whose only job was to make sure that Adam Pac-Man Jones was taking care of what he was supposed to be taking care of. He didn't start doing, the Vegas strip club until after he was left from the Cowboys, where he literally spent $1 million in a weekend. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't get that. I'm sorry. There is nothing you can do in a weekend to me that would be worth $1 million. Just isn't. And I bet you, looking back now, I bet he's saying, I wish I had that $1 million right now. Be that as it may, let's get in a little deeper. Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver George Pickens is a known concern in the locker room. The young wideout is no doubt talented. Pittsburgh's offense looks quite different without him, i.e. worse. But his antics on the field cost his team repeatedly this season. In public, Coach Mike Tomlin has been blunt but patient in his assessment of the Georgia export. But you have to wonder how long the front office will want to deal with such a troublemaker. This is where you're kind of like, okay. Case in point, a new piece from The Athletic, Micah DeFibio, alleges Pickens reported to the field for Pittsburgh's Christmas game against Kansas City 35 minutes after Tomlin requested arrival time, which is at least 2 hours before kickoff. On December 25th, Pickens walked through the media entrance an hour and 25 minutes before kickoff, Fabio reports. That was after the inactive players were announced. Yes, an hour and a half is still a lot of time to warm up and prepare for the game ahead, but openly flaunting your head coach's request, presuming the receiver didn't have a viable reason, is not a good look. Football is your job, and any normal job requires showing up on time. Pickens will soon enter the last year of his 4-year rookie deal and could be looking for a long-term extension, depending on what the front office is thinking. But another mediocre season, Pittsburgh has a lot of changes to consider in the off months if they're not looking for more of the same. Okay, showing up late. All right. This is another one. This is like 2 weeks later. Or the former Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman Kendall Simmons warns George Pickens that if he's going to be a nuisance for the Steelers in the locker room, the team may look to move him. Well, apparently they did. Simmons appeared on Jabba in the Month show and talked about Pickens, and Simmons believes that the attitude Pickens carries is one thing holding him back from becoming an all-pro. If you're going to be a cancer, you got to go, Simmons said on the Jabba and Mouth show. To me, it's that simple. George has to own the things and stuff that he is like and he didn't like, but he has to be but he has a superstar ability. I really do believe that. It's just the off the field stuff is going to keep him from being all pro and all those different accolades that could possibly be just based on his talents. I don't see him being here for much longer. He's going to wear out his welcome if he hasn't already. Wow. So that's the off the field issues, being late, showing up tardy for meetings and for games and things. And that's definitely something that you're going to have to look at, because the problem with something like that is if he's allowed to get away with that, then you start having others that look and say, well, why does he get away with that? Well, because you're a superstar. However, this will be the opportunity where you might be able to have some of the veterans like Micah, Dak, and CD that say, slow your roll, bro. And it may be that he just didn't want to be in Pittsburgh and wanted to get out. You can see the hissy fit that Derek Carr is doing right now, where basically, oh, my shoulder, I can't play, and I'm not going to take a team deal or anything like that. You can look at what he did, basically burning bridges with the Raiders. The Raiders are like, hey, work out a trade for whatever team you want to go to. And, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll work it out. And he found a team he wanted to go to and say, nah, you're going to have to cut me. But I don't hear anybody saying anything about his off-the-field issues. And it may be that this is the move he wants. People, regardless of the Cowboys winning, the players like Cam Newton said, you want to go to the Dallas Cowboys to create your brand and be out there. Yeah, he's like, that's where I would have wanted. If I were a rookie right now, that's where I'd want to go. And so you have to be George Pickens and think, I'm trying to get me a contract extension. I need to perform because I don't think the Cowboys are going to go through, knowing the Cowboys that we haven't got Micah done yet, that they're going to go through with him being a $3.5 million cap hit, that they're going to be in a rush to go ahead and say, we're going to give you the extension. We got you locked up for this year. This is your trial period on whether or not we're going to give you the big extension. And if you're George Pickens, you may want to wait for that because you can go through and say, I'm going to be a solid citizen. I'm going to be a solid citizen and get me the big payday. I'm going to be out here to perform. And this is what the Cowboys have done this season is they've gone through and they've got so many players that for whatever reason haven't performed to their draft position but have shown that they can play but need to go ahead and perform to get that next payday. The only person I believe that we signed thus far is Solomon Thomas to 2-year deal. Everybody else is on a prove-it deal. So, yeah, that's where we stand with those guys. I'm just looking up here on Sports Track to see if they have his cap hit on with the Cowboys just yet or not. They have his contract, of course. I saw this morning at like 7 o'clock that they already had, let's see, George Pickens. They had already had, they've already got his cap number, $3.6 million already on Sports Track. And so as we sit here right now, people, to me, this is incredible because we have done all the moves we've made this offseason. We now have George Pickens added. We got ourselves 2 running backs, and we've got $32 million of cap space still left.
Oh, shit!
Plus another 10 to 12 coming from Micah Parsons. The Cowboys can do anything they want to do at this point. Now, I want to go through and get the instant reaction here. I can guarantee you, here's what I can guarantee you right now. Here's what you're going to hear from all of the talking heads, okay? All the talking heads are going to tell you the Cowboys made a mistake because they just got a cancer locker room, a locker room cancer. That a third-round pick, and he's going to be a problem. You watch. It's going to be nothing but negativity in the same way as people were talking about Tyler Booker is going to be a great offensive lineman, best guard in the draft. Any GM that drafts him is going to sleep well because they got a stud until the Cowboys draft him. Then it's like, it's a reach. They could have got him in the second round. And in the same way they said about Tyler Smith. You remember Skip and Shannon, Skip, why did they go for that guy? Skip, they reached for him, man. He got all kind of penalties. Oh, I'm sorry. Do we still talk about Shannon Sharp these days? Or is he persona non grata? Let's go to the tape.
And Tomlin and the Steelers were a little bit off, right? It never felt like they clicked in terms of relationship stuff. The Cowboys had been saying, we're working on some trades. What were the trades they were working on? They brought in guys that were kind of, I don't like to use the word failed first-round picks, but first-round picks that didn't live up to the expectations. Those are the guys they brought in this offseason. And now they trade for George Pickens. They're going to trade for George Pickens. They obviously take a huge chance on him. DK Metcalf is already there. They traded him a second-round pick for him. The question now becomes, how much of an impact will Pickens have on the Cowboys opposite CeeDee Lamb? And is Aaron Rodgers cool with this if he's going to be the quarterback? Because now he's throwing to one guy. Where's the other guy? Who else is out there that's left? Could Pittsburgh now revisit phone calls with San Francisco to use some of the draft capital? Would they consider going out there and trying to trade for a banged-up Brandon Ayuk? And then maybe San Francisco tries to save some money for Purdy. There's a lot of machinations. Again, if you're just tuning in 1 minute ago, Adam Schefter just tweeted, Dallas and Pittsburgh, two pretty significant NFL teams, are working to finalize a trade that will send George Pickens to the Cowboys in exchange for draft compensation expected to be finalized today. Smalls.
So the Cowboys have been cryptically adamant that they had some stuff in the hopper.
Selectively
so
aggressive.
This was just what the Cowboys do. They talk, and there's not a lot of action behind it. But good for them for going out there and making a move like this, because we always talk about the Cowboys offense and say, what is it? It's Dak to CD. That's it, period. And so giving him another option there, another wrinkle, I think is a smart move for the Cowboys. The Steelers are interesting. They are shockingly the story of the offseason for an organization who's been so steady, who's been so consistent. This is a surprise to me. I know you mentioned the questions that we had around Pickens, but to have this move made when we still don't really know who your QB1 is going to be is a little surprising to me.
I'm also surprised, Smalls, and maybe there's financial reasons. We'll understand this in terms of cap hits. We're just getting this information now. I'm surprised they couldn't figure out a way of finalizing this before this previous draft. Right? So if you're Pittsburgh and you gain an extra pick and you want to maneuver a little bit to move up to get a wide receiver, whatever it may be, that maybe you like a little bit better than anybody else you took. But this is the move that they're making. George Pickens goes from Pittsburgh to Dallas. His career so far, 3 seasons. Played in 17 games, 14 games, so 48 all in, 174 receptions. So obviously he's off to a very good start, 52, 63, 59, and he has over 2,800 yards, 12 touchdowns in 3 years. He is a very good receiver. We know that. Everybody was going crazy about how good of a fit he would be with Russell Wilson on the deep ball and the lob threat. 6'3", 200 pounds, 24 years old, out of Georgia, was a second-round pick in 2022, and now he's going to the Cowboys. And if you're a Cowboys fan, I don't know how you can't like this.
Yeah.
Because even if he's not a personality fit, let's say, a reliability fit with Pittsburgh, the wake-up call of getting traded.
6'3".
I'm sure they're not giving up a first-round pick to get him. They're probably not even giving up a second-round pick, if I had to guess, to get him. And now you're adding to that wide receiver room alongside CeeDee Lamb. So to me, I think this makes a lot of sense for the Cowboys to roll the dice.
They must have really wanted to get
mad
rid
at
of
it
him.
from a Steelers perspective. I don't understand the now versus before the draft, and I do wonder if there are other things up the sleeves with the Pittsburgh Steelers on this. I'm just looking at their depth chart. If there are any, they drafted Roman Wilson out of Michigan last year. Yeah, they need Calvin Austin. They need another receiver.
This doesn't signal to you that they don't think they're going to land Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Because that's what I think. I mean, if they're bailing on one of their two...
You think they're punting?
Yeah, I think they're realizing, all right, we're not going to get Aaron Rodgers, so what are we doing? Let's try to get some capital from this.
Okay,
we're going to roll with Mason Rudolph.
Let's play that out.
Real quick, if that's the case, then why did you put yourself in this position heading
You
into
get
the
DK
draft?
Metcalf.
Or why did you trade for DK Metcalf and extend him if you didn't know you had a quarterback? Because DK Metcalf's great and seemingly like the hardest worker, great guy, like all the positives you want to say about somebody.
Yeah.
But having a $30 million wide receiver with a stinky quarterback doesn't get you anything. Right? Quarterback rules is featured on ESPN.com.
Twice.
Thank you.
Not once, but twice.
Twice, 2 times, no big deal. State, pay a quarterback to make a wide receiver great. Don't pay a wide receiver to make a quarterback great.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's play out the Pat theory on this. Pat has had a tremendous day, right? Tremendous day.
He's 2 for 2.
Right. What was the first one? I already forgot. Anthony Edwards.
And being coronated too early.
Yeah. Now maybe he doesn't even win a series with Steph out.
And the
then
Pacers being sneaky
the
good.
hottest team that we should be really thinking about and how good they were down the stretch and winning 6 to 7 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now Pat, who's been saying all along Rodgers to the Steelers, is now saying maybe this is the indicator that he's not going to be a Steeler and that they're going to go the other way. If that's the case, you can't stop with Pickens. TJ Watt has to become a conversation.
Just start breaking it down?
Well, no, if Pat's right and Pickens is the first move towards we're not going to be that good this year.
Wow.
There's no point of spending money on Rodgers. We're going to now take any player that is going to be soon to be contract eligible, even if he's a franchise icon like TJ Watt, and gauge the value. Because I went the other way. I went the other way on this. I went that I believe that Pittsburgh is doing things for Rodgers, and maybe there are other moves here. The other way is also like Pat's way is interesting too. That
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like, all right, we traded Pickens and we're just going to sign a straight free agent now. We're going to go get Amari Cooper. Well, that would make some sense, but like you get what I'm saying. Like
we don't have a lot of time, but I think this is a question we have to focus on. Pittsburgh, what's their hit rate when they've gotten rid of wide receivers? I think it's been pretty good. So
That's true.
So I know.
Good point, Nuno.
I see the reaction from analysts being like, "Oh, Cowboys, great trade for him."
Yeah.
The reaction from Cowboy fans is very hesitant
You're right.
now.
No,
about
not this
because
one.
Steelers move off you. There's something going on there.
the only one that I would argue with, and obviously playing the results doesn't help, but Plaxico was great early on for the Giants. Plaxico was great. Gary V scheduled to join us.
All right, so that's their take on it. I told you you'll get negativity. I heard that for the first time right here. Now, here's what you get with George Pickens for last year. I was doing work while we were working. Overall grade by Pro Football Focus is a 76.9. Keep in mind, the Steelers' offense, since Big Ben's been gone, you can't look at this and say this is one of the top offenses out there, okay? They have had worse quarterback play that you know, in there. I mean, they weren't sure who was going to be there. Sometimes it was Russell and so forth, and Kenny Pickett and this, that, and the other. Last year, 24, a 76.9, 27th of 98 wide receivers, okay? That's an overall grade. Receiving grade, he got a 78, which is 25th. Rushing grade, not enough stats on it. So if we look at his other numbers, he's basically a 50% success rate with the Steelers and things. But having CeeDee Lamb there, who's getting the lion's share of the attention, you got to look at this and say, yeah, okay, he's going to be open. And him being a big target, you got to love this. This is kind of like Des Bryant size. He had 100 targets, which was 30th in the NFL of 98 wide receivers. Receptions, 59 receptions, which was 40th in the rankings there. And I went through, did I see if I still have it from yesterday? By comparison, you had yardage-wise, give you an example. So when they say, oh, maybe Amari Cooper, I think that's one of those ones that people don't realize how bad Amari Cooper was last year. When we talk about receptions, him having 59, you had Amari Cooper at 99 ranking. So 59. He's literally 40 positions higher than what Amari Cooper was. Jalen Tolbert was 82. Yardage-wise, he's 29th. Amari Cooper was 80th last year. Yeah, that's a big difference. And Jalen Tolbert was 65. So we're talking about an upper echelon. TDs-wise, well, he didn't have that many. He only had 2 TDs. But, you know, we're dealing with the Steelers with an offense that was in flux. I'm sorry, 3 receiving TDs. So he was 58th there, which Amari Cooper was 68. Jalen Tolbert actually was 27. But the person who you probably look at and say, who's going to benefit a lot from this? You got to say Jalen Tolbert will, because now he becomes like Cedric Wilson was when we had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. That it opened up the doors for Cedric Wilson to all of a sudden go from a 100, 200-yard guy to a 600 yards. So this is going to make it a hell of a lot easier for Jalen Tolbert. And this is going to spread the field because now, just imagine this. Oh, my God. I'm just giddy right now. Imagine 12 personnel, dudes. And I'll go into this more later. I'm literally choking on this. But just imagine this. You've got your Cooper Beebe, your Tyler Booker, your Tyler Smith right here in the middle, right? You got your Terrence Steele. You got your Tyler Guyton or somebody else. You got your Schoonmaker. You got your Jake Ferguson, all healthy. And you got Jaden Blue in the backfield. You got CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. What you gonna do, brother? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when this Cowboys 12 personnel comes for you, okay? You put 8 men in the box. Okay. Cool. We can shift Jake Ferguson out wide. We can take Jaden Blue and put him in motion going outside. We now have speed galore to go downfield, brother. Speed to go downfield. CD and Pickens, go. Jaden, go across. Jake Ferguson, Schoonmaker, boom. Yeah. If you don't put 8 men in the box, then we're going to run it right down your throat with a speed back. And that's what I'm talking about, mismatches right there. And the Cowboys, woo-wee! That's a major mother humping move right there, guys. That's a major mother humping move. I am excited. You guys are going to be sick of me. You know what? I'm going to put it out there right now. Right now. I'm going to be on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. I'm going for the Dirty Dozen today. I'm going for the Dirty Dozen videos. 12 or bust. And this is number 4 this morning. That's right. Number 4 this morning. I got 8 more mother humpers in me today, and I hope you watch each and every one of them. Tell me, people, let me say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps with the YouTube algorithms. And I'm going to tell you, I'm coming for you, Philly. I'm coming for you, Washington. The Dallas Cowboys are tired of you mother humpers talking trash. We're back, baby. We're back, baby. We're back. And I got to get out of here.
Oh, yeah? Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.